Hello and thanks for joining me on this beautiful autumn day in the Scottish Highlands. Just had this little envelope of nice weather, and I thought to take advantage of this and just get away for a few days. We're late autumn coming into winter here. The weather really is closing in, but just look at this today. It is glorious, isn't it? So just threw a few things on the back of the bike and I thought I'd get away. Probably be the last my last trip away in the UK, you know, before I go overseas for the winter. Anyway, the reason I'm making this video is because I fitted this touring screen on the front of my bike. It's just about a year ago now, and I made a video of it which I published about 10 months ago on my channel, and that's had a lot of interest from other Scrambler owners, and a few people have said, how are you getting on with the screen? Can you give us a long-term review of it? So, you know, whilst I'm out on the bike here, I thought, yeah, this is a good opportunity just to update you with how I'm getting on with the screen, and you can see it hopefully quite clearly on the front of the bike here in the video. So I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about fitting a taller touring screen on the Scrambler, and I totally sympathise with that. I really hesitated in doing so, and in actual fact I rode my bike around for 4 years or so without a screen on, and did a lot of long distance touring without the screen. But it's, yeah, the issue is that the Scrambler is a beautiful naked bike, and a lot of people say, well, if you fit a big screen on it, you're going to spoil the lines of the bike. And yeah, I sympathise with that view. But having fitted this screen, I don't feel it does spoil the look of the bike. And in actual fact, I'll try and show you some whilst I'm riding along here. Obviously you can see it from the rider's position, but well, nearly the rider's position, and more about that in a second. But I'll just put some screenshots of what the bike looks like, you know, the screen looks like on the front of the bike. I've actually found that it's not intrusive at all. It's actually a lot lower. Now I've got used to it. Obviously it felt bigger at first, but it's a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, I just got used to it. It doesn't really distract from the look of the bike for me at all. But for me, the big issue about fitting this screen was that I bought this bike to use as a touring bike, and I wanted to set it up for long distance touring. And as I said, I did 3 or 4 seasons of touring in Europe, Scandinavia on the bike with no screen on, and for most of the time you don't really need a screen. It's absolutely fine. But it's when you're doing sustained long high speed, you know, motorway sections that it really makes a huge difference. And the clincher for me was last summer I was down in Spain, and I had to do a few days to get a few miles under my belt to get up through Spain and back into France, and then up through France. And I spent a few days in the rain, sat on motorways, on highways at a high speed, and it is so tiring without a screen, and that has been the big difference for me. So if you see the pictures of the bike, I've set this up as a touring bike. You know, I've got the frames on the back so I can put the panniers on it, got a rack on the back so I can put a bag on the back, and I've got the touring screen and various other features which I've put in other videos to make this into my long distance touring bike, and as such I'm very happy with it. But I will say that yes, I sympathise with those people who want to keep it naked. That's fine, but we're all different, aren't we? And we all use the bike in different ways. So what can I say about the screen? Well, I've already mentioned, but I'll just talk about it explicitly now. It is not obtrusive at all. Now, you can see the screen in the camera shot here, I hope, but I need to point out that my camera, I'm using a GoPro camera here, is mounted on my chin bar, and quite low on my chin bar on my helmet. So my actual eye line is about 5 or 6 inches, I would say 6 inches higher than what you are seeing from the camera view. So in actual fact, what I see when I'm riding the screen is probably quite a bit lower in my view than what you are seeing as you're watching this video. So I have to say, I don't find the screen obtrusive at all, and in fact I've got so used to it now I don't even notice that it's there. A second thing I want to talk about is turbulence, because a few people have commented on my channel and on my videos saying, oh, I fitted the screen and I'm getting terrible turbulence off the screen. Well, I can't comment on that. I don't understand that, because I found this screen to be totally turbulence free. I'm 6'1", so I'm sitting reasonably tall on the bike. Also, I've got extra padding on my saddle, which lifts me up a little bit higher. And I have to say, despite it being fairly low in my vision, I find this screen to be well, no turbulence at all. It's the only way I can describe it. It's absolutely incredible. Yes, I do get wind noise off it, but no turbulence. And before I had this bike, I had a BMW GS 1200 Adventure, and I thought the screen on that was good, but the screen on this Triumph, I have to say, is so much better than the old BMW. I think it's all to do with the design. If you have a look at the screen, it's it's not just a straight screen, it's curved, so it's obviously been designed, tested in a wind tunnel, and it's got the little, what I call the little letterbox in it, which a lot of screens have these days, to reduce the turbulence that you get behind the screen. They all seem to work. So if you've got one of these screens, it's the XL touring screen is this one, and you've got turbulence, I'm afraid I can't help you with that. I don't know why. And I know that it's nothing to do with helmet choice, because I wear a wide range of different helmets on the bike. Sometimes I wear an open face helmet, sometimes I wear a full face helmet, sometimes I wear a flip front helmet. I've got a few different helmets. It doesn't matter which one I wear, I don't suffer from any turbulence at all from the screen. So I was absolutely delighted with that, because for me, when I bought the screen, that was the biggest risk, that I would put it on and there would be terrible turbulence and I would find it unusable. Okay, so it's not obtrusive, I don't think. There's no turbulence, it does the job. But the most important thing for me, that this screen does exactly what I wanted it to do, which is it just makes long days in the saddle at high speed and in bad weather so much less tiring. Now when I do long motorway stretches, no problem at all, whereas before, winding the bike up to 70-80 miles an hour and sitting at that kind of speed without a screen, when in such an upright riding position, did get very tiring. It's okay for an hour or two, but when you're doing it all day, 7 or 8 hours, and you're doing that consecutive days, it does get very tiring. And also, equally importantly, in bad weather, it keeps a lot of that rain off. So it does exactly what a screen should do. That's why you fit screens. So I'm very, very happy with it in that respect. So I guess I'll just wrap up then by saying, well, are there any negative sides to the screen, any downsides to the screen? Well, other than the comment that some people will make about it spoiling the looks of the bike, I don't agree. I'm quite happy with the looks of it. The only one minor thing is, because the screen works so well, in hot weather it does substantially reduce ventilation. So I find that if it's hot, if I've got quite a thick jacket on, I undo the ventilation zips on my jacket, I'm still not getting a lot of air in through those vent zips, because the screen is keeping so much of that air off me. It's a minor thing, and the funny thing is, the upshot of it is that I actually find myself these days riding in lighter weight gear, because I don't need to have such heavyweight thick gear on, because I'm so well protected by the screen. Okay, hopefully I've covered all the bases there in terms of what people are interested in, what people wanted to know. If not, pop a question in the comments below. I hope you found that helpful. If you've not seen my original video about fitting and reviewing the screen, then I'll put a link to that. I also, when I was doing the research and choosing the screen, I researched many different options, and I made a video, and I've actually made an information sheet that you can download about all the different screen options that I found anyway that were available for the Scrambler 1200. So I'll put a link to that at the end of this video in the end screen. Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully see you again soon. Right safe. Bye bye.